Evening and welcome to the Mechs and Monsters YouTube channel, where in this episode I'm going to teach you how to paint light leather. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start off just basing the model. So what we're going to do for this leather effect, this is the torso and the top of the legs. So being Viking, it's going to be a lot of leather protection. They wore a lot of sort of heavy leather armour. So it's going to be mainly leather, and there's two different sort of layers to the leather. So the base layer is going to be quite not as weathered, but whereas the leather on the top is going to be quite well battered, well weathered. Not bothering more of this. This is all going to be metal. That's going to be leather, but I'm going to put some sort of light gold trim on it. So first thing I'm going to do, base cut it all in chocolate brown. Pour it in the little tub. 50-50 mix with the Vallejo brush thinner. Old brush. Mix it up. You can hear my compressor constantly kicking in. That's because the connector started leaking on that airbrush. So I need to order a new one. Okay, to get it to like a milk consistency. What I'm going to do is apply a nice even base coat across the whole model. Well, at least where the leather is. It's going to act as my base colour for the leather. I'm going to do two different styles of leather. There's lots of little bits of gold metal clips and straps and things, which I'll be doing metallic later on. I'll do them at the end. The window open, bit of fresh air and the fan on, so it's all starting to brown up now. So the majority of his clothing is going to be leather. Alright.
Alright, but for a while, because I did it with
Cool.
it was a treat, so you like to come hard.
Dog's been being a pain today. Okay. I'm just going to use the airbrush just to get the base layer on. And I'm going to be doing a lot of it with little bits of maybe some blending, some stippling with the dry brush. Get that base layer on the vest. What I'll probably do is make that look like chainmail. It's almost got like an inner stab vest on. Which will get done at the end, so I'm not too bothered about if some brown gets on it at this minute in time. This stuff, this is part of his cloak, so I'm not sure what colour I'm going to do that. With him technically being a god. If it's just not a Viking, I'd just do the material. Still might. I like the idea of him just having the material kind of normal cloak. You know, he wasn't going to be wearing a cloak made of gold or something like that. Sort of idea of this 4 is that he's pretty much man. Trying to bring him a bit more down to earth. Like the things like the belt, I'm going to make it a really thick cut kind of leather. It's going to be a different chill between the leathers. It's going to be like a sort of protective layer leather and a sort of decorative, more sort of covering leather. trousers. Going to be sort of different type of leather. It's going to be worn, heavily worn, weathered. And over it with a nice little thin coat. So I'm not too worried about going on the cape because that's going to get done later on. For now I'm just concentrating on the leather parts. Okay, that's the torso. Let's spray the boots now. The boots are obviously going to be a leather. Leather strapping on the boots. We've got some like chaps for like boot protectors. So we're going to do different grades of leather on that. What I'll do is do them, so like these sections here on the front, that shim protector. I'll probably do that thick leather with like a gold trim. Even though he's going to be done as a sort of Viking man, still with him being 4, I want him to have that symbol status of being a god. We're getting like some gold trim. What's this leg going on there? So he's got like a base he stands on, which is a video about painting stone that I've done, which I painted up in a stone effect. For every image, I'm using a 0.5 nozzle in this. This is my cheapy airbrush, which I tend to use if we're doing 0.5 total coverage spray. To get to the end, I'm hoping I should just about have enough. For some of the levers I'm going to be doing a bit more redder, some of them might have a bit more tan in them, especially the ones that are going to get weathered. Let it dry a bit. Got a little bit left over, so I'll just quickly put a quick spray cover on. Okay. And that is the base coat of brown put on, so we'll move on to the next stages. Okay, so next step, now I've basically, it's all chocolate brown coating, so you can see that, and this is going to be my base now for all the levers. And as I said before, there's going to be different kinds of levers. Some of the levers are going to be quite more worn than the others, so I'm going to differentiate between an armor lever and a clothing lever. So things like the trousers is going to be the clothing lever, and then things like the straps and all that, I'm going to treat that as armor lever, and I'm going to paint that slightly different. So, but for now, I'm going to concentrate on the trousers. Because of the trousers, I'm going to do the clothing armor. So the trousers, sort of the back, maybe not there, but this piece, the chaps on there. So this lever is going to be a bit more worn. This is going to be the stuff he wears every day, whereas the armor lever is stuff he's going to put on when he's going to go into battle or fight. So he doesn't wear it all the time. So I'm going to treat it as though that the armor lever is not quite as worn, and it's going to be a more reddish lever to indicate that it's a different type of lever. And the clothing lever is stuff he wears every day, so that's going to be worn, and it's going to be a different type of lever. Now, to do this, I'm going to use a technique called stippling. And for stippling, you need dry brushes. And I highly recommend, let's have a look at it here, the Series D set from Artis Opus. Now I use the S series from my wet blending, and I have the Series D. They did a special on this called the Navigator set, and to be honest, I fell in love with the box. Just the box I wanted to buy, because being ex-Navy, I love nautical stuff. But it's a beautiful presentation. Keep your eye on the website, because he does these really nice presentation sets. So if you buy that, you get the extra large, the large. The one I'm going to use for this is the medium, which is this one. You get the D, and you get the small and the extra small. All right. These actually make amazing basing brushes as well. Yeah, so literally you can just push it down, pop it up, go. That's the cleaner. Like I said, I highly recommend them, and I will put a link in the description below for the video. And it also comes with this little brush cleaning pot. So a little sponge in it. You basically stick some water inside it, and then as you're going, you can clean your brush. Stop your brush clogging up. So I'm going to be using that. Now to start with on the clothing one, I'm going to start working in a layer of the flat earth from the model range. Okay, so I'm going to give that a shake up, and then I want this to be very random. I'm not going to do it uniformed. It's going to be in places where I'm starting to work up the sort of wear and tear in the everyday clothing. So like the trousers, pretty much everything on top, I'd say, is going to be armor leather. That's going to be chainmail, and then I'll do a little bit on his boots. I'm going to squeeze a bit into my little stainless steel pot. And what I always like to do is put a nice big piece of kitchen roll down. I get this stuff from Aldi, but you can buy this from anywhere like Amazon or any sort of shopping place. But I can't remember the name of it, but it's not your standard kind of tissue paper. It's like when you're rubbing it, it doesn't disintegrate into tiny little pieces. It stays together. So for stippling, what the idea is, you put a bit on your brush, and I want a very, very, very light coating on my brush. And then you dab it. Constantly dab it. Dab, 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 dab. And you kind of focusing that paint into that area and building it up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean my brush. Give it a wipe on this wet sponge, on the moist sponge. Okay. And then I'm just going to use that to... Right, I might get another piece for this. Right, this is the stuff. I've got another one. Blast. Okay, now I picked this up from Aldi's. Can't remember how much it is, but you get a ton of it and it lasts forever. And I use it for my 3D printing as well. So if you've got an Aldi near you in the UK, pick that stuff up. Brilliant. I'm going to put that there because I'm right-handed, so I can clean that there. What I'm going to do, dab my brush, and then what I want to do is just work it into the bristle. I'll get a nice even coat. And all I'm going to do is start working this into the I'm going to concentrate on the raised areas and leave the recessed areas, leave them a darker brown. Okay, and you can see it's starting to build it up. You can get really nice transitions with this as well. I'm not looking to cover every part of it. Trying to be random. So the leather's going to be a mixture of stippling and dry brushing. You can use any size one of the brush. If you buy the set, use whichever brush you're comfortable with, but for what I'm doing, I want to use a smaller size brush and be a bit more controlling with it. If you do a lot of stippling, you will find over time that your bristles start to knacker. You see, I'm starting to build it up. Add a bit more. Same again, work it in so you get a nice even coating over your brush. And just slowly work it in. Working it. Not too worried about transitions, I think, because we are going to do some blending with some wash later on. And that will be done with my favourite wash paint, the Smoke. See, it's really starting to get the contrast in between the browns now. So that in the centerpiece, that's going to be armor leather. That leg I'm going to do in this, and then I'm going to do the chaps on the boots in the same leather as this. Be careful when you first do it, just gently dab, because you find that it's going to be a lot more intense when you first start. As you can see, what I'm doing is anywhere where it's recessed or deep, I'm kind of leaving that as the chocolate brown. I'm concentrating on the raised areas. There's a lot of detailing on this model, which I absolutely love. There's little cracks in the leather, and as a model painter, that's half the battle, is making sure you've got a model with the detail. And then being a painter, just make that detailing pop. The reason that camera flickers. So well, if it carries on, I shall make sure it doesn't do it on the next one. Still concentrating on these raised areas, so you can see a bit there where it's kind of recessed. There's lots of sort of folds in the leather, so I'm just going to concentrate on the highlighted areas. Leave those recessed areas in that chocolate brown. If your brush starts feeling like it's starting to run a bit thin on the paint, just start angling it different ways, because you've got paint in the bristles, so you can start catching it from different angles and getting that paint out of that angle. You see it's starting to lighten up those higher areas. I don't know if you can see, but you can see the little cracks in the leather. Didn't really notice them before, but now they're really starting to pop. What I'll do, I'm going to keep doing that over the leg and the trouser leg, and then we'll get back and we'll have a look over it. Okay, now we've gone over the flat earth. You can see the kind of how it's ended up. So I've just done the raised areas. Again, where the cracking is, I've kind of lightly dry brushed over that so I can keep that cracking effect. Okay, same with the legs. I went with the chaps on the sides. Just highlighted a little bit of stippling, bit of dry brushing, just to catch those raised edges. And the same with the belt, there and there. I'm going to do the same again, a little run over, but we've been again even more selective, just purely the highlighted raised areas, not covering all the areas I've done. And this time it's going to get done in dark sand. So this is really going to start making it look worn and weathered, aged. I'll give that a mix up. Get one of my little pots. So I've got some flat earth left over. I'll find something for it. Don't like to waste paint. A good shake up. Yeah. Probably a lot less this time. About that. Good. I'm just gonna clean my brush. Again, all that's in there is just water and a sponge. Give it a clean, give it a dampen. It also gets the bristles nice and moist. Like that. Clean those bristles off. I love having tissue, a big bit of tissue underneath, so I've got a nice brushwork area. Okay, dab it in. Wipe it in on there. And I'm gonna really just start thinning it out so it's not really strong on the brush. All I'm going to do is lightly, not so much stippling, but more dry brush, being selective where to go, where I'm going. Really bringing out the detailing in that leather cracking. A bit light at the moment, but the next layer is the wash with the smoke. Okay, so what I'm doing is lightly going over just so it catches. If anything, I'd say my brush is just a tad too wet. Dry that off a bit. That's better. Just want it to lightly catch the raised areas. Looks like it's not blending very well. Just do a little bit of stippling over the top. You start to see where it's starting to bring out the detail in the cracking and that. Again, once the paint settles as well over 24 hours, the saturation will calm down. Really starting to sort of age it now. What I'm doing is just where these really raised areas are, that's where I'm really starting to work in this dry brushing effect. Really starting to take that worn level look. Rub it in, dry it off. Don't want it too strong. Bit too strong. Dry it off. There we go. That's just right. You can see as I'm doing it, it's just catching those raised areas. It's exactly what I want it to do. Just catch the raised areas. That's what dry brushing is all about. Don't worry about it being looking too light at this minute, because the wash layer next is really going to blend it. Even though you can't see this part of the model, I still like to paint them. You never know, somebody might want to look up his skirt. Okay. So what I'm going to do the same on the boots. In fact, I'm going to put a little light bit on there, because there's some crack in there. Now that's really starting to get into that cracking, starting to make it pop a little bit. This is where buying a good decent set of dry brush really is worth it, because you get those soft bristles. They don't force themselves into the recesses and the cracked areas, it will just glide across your surface area. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with the boots, and then we'll move on to the next layer. Okay, so now we've done that. See, nice light dry brushing over the top. Just really makes the sort of highlighted areas pop, and also gives it that kind of worn and old and weathered look. Also did the boots. You see the chaps and the belt and the straps really popped. Look really nice. Same with the other one. And that was literally just dry brushing up and down with a very, very lightly coated dry brush. So what I'm going to do now, because I want all these layers to blend together, so I'm going to create a wash with, hit the wrong one, with, not that one, with smoke, if I can find it. Oh, I've had it here somewhere. There we go. With the Vallejo smoke. Fantastic for washes and blending your browns together. So for this, probably say 10-12 drops, probably about a 1:10 ratio. I wasn't even counting, but with these I tend to know how much to put in. Give it a quick mixy. Now I'm just going to go with 1 drop. It's very strong stuff, this. Got my wash brush. As you can see, it does a lot of smoke wash blends, washes. Mix it all together and you've essentially got smoke coloured water. All I'm going to do with this, just brush it over the top and blend it. Okay. So on that side, go over the top, everywhere you've done. Again, nice even coating all over. Then with my boots. Everywhere that's been dry brushed, give it a nice coating. Nice even coat. And if you want to, use a hair dryer and dry it. You know me, I like to leave it a little bit dry and natural. Okay, so I'm just going to leave these to dry now and we'll come back to them once they're dried. Now, once that's all dry, what I'm going to do, you see there, that's the kind of effect I'm getting. So you see that smoke layer's really blended those together. Starting to look very natural. So what I'm going to do now is add in just a little bit of black. So I'll switch now to the Artis Opus small brush. And all I'm going to do, just use some flat black. A little blob in there. Then again, what I'm going to do, put a little bit on my brush. Use your tissue to dab it in so you get a nice even coating on your brush. Dry the brush off a bit. I'm just going to start stifling it into the sort of recessed areas, the deepest areas in there. been so much uniformed or anything. You see, it's just starting to really contrast and going with that weathered, aged look. Doesn't take that long, I suppose. It depends what model you're doing, but I'm not going to dry brush because I'm wanting to really dig it into those recessy areas. Okay. A bit more. Start working on the other side. Work it in, dry it a bit. You don't want it to be too thick, you just want just enough on your brush so you just get a little. Last thing you'll do is put it on and you just get a big blob of black straight on it. What I'm doing is I'm holding the model up as well and sort of coming upwards with it, because then I'm going to create sort of shaded areas on the underneath side. There as well. Up into the brush, dry it off. Almost so when you're on the brush doing this, so you can start seeing the white of the tissue coming through. Just start dabbing into those areas where it's going to be darkest. I'm going to come in underneath just to create a bit of a more shady, sort of shadowy area where the lighting isn't as good. With the boots, just coming into the areas where the recess areas are, where they're deepest, and also where I think lighting isn't going to be so much hitting. Now on this side. Not looking to go crazy with it. Once you kind of start getting the effect you want. Don't go too far. When you're happy, stop. Okay. What I'm going to do next is wet my brush. whilst I've got the black out, I'm going to create a black wash. I want about 50-50. So I'm going to go about I've done 9 drops of that. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 8 more. Yeah, that's about even. Just creating a nice wash. Okay. I'm not going to go all over on the model with this. What I'm going to do with this wash is just come into the areas where it meets things to create a bit of a shadow in there. Don't want to soak it, just I'm going to work up into those areas. What it's doing is just I'll probably go a little less actually with the black. I'm going to blend it. Just working into those areas, working it into the black areas where I put the black. And keep it nice and watery, nice and runny. Been around in circles. And I'm brushing. So you're doing a leather belt, so I kind of do this effect and work your black in towards the belt. So like if I was doing there, then in buckles, I'd probably just work the black up towards the buckles to almost create like a bit of a shading effect. Again, coming in, going around in circles. Now work it up towards that area there to create almost like a bit of shading, almost like a dark shadow, a bit more darker shadow, because light isn't going to be as prevalent there. Try not to ever let things dry in like a straight line. Always try and blend it. You can see there, but it's kind of drying in a straight line, which is annoying me. Don't need to go crazy with this. Just a little bit to help create the effect. What I'm going to do with the footage is work it in towards the chap, towards the leg chaps like this, just to create that shadowing. With that strap there. Underneath there. So again, light's not going to be hitting at the bottom of the straps. There's going to be a little shadowed area. What I'm going to do now, just around the back of the chap, create another sort of shadowy area. Once I've got the black wash out, I might even start doing the boot, because the boot is going to be doing a bit more of a black leather. And on the other side, build it into those. So the bottom of the chaps, I'm not doing the top side of them, of the straps, just the bottom. Just to help with the lighting. The blacks are quite strong at the moment, but as it dries down, that'll fade. Again, don't ever want straight lines, so even though I've done that, now I'm going to start blending towards that. Try and break up that black line that I've just created. Okay, so I'm pulling that paint towards where I want it to be strongest. And the point I want it to be strongest is where the sort of shin strap meets the straps in the chap. It just creates that differentiation between the leg strap, and then it kind of shows that that's going underneath it. And if needs to, you can just wet your brush. If you think you've gone a bit thick in somewhere, wet your brush. Just reactivate the paint. Just move it about a bit. I think it's really created that definition now. You see the paint's starting to fade now, so you can see it's starting to blend. So what I'm going to do, I might add a little bit more just in there. Just to darken it up a little bit more where it goes underneath the chin strap. Again, working it towards the strap, the chin protection. What I'll do now is I shall leave them to dry, and we'll have a little look, and that is pretty much how to paint what I'd call light art, light leather. So once it's all dried, this black is going to fade down a bit more. If it doesn't, then you can always add another wash over the top with a lighter brown just to bring it back again. Okay guys, so if you've been following, I hope you've found this tutorial video helpful. So as you can see, now everything's dried. Got a nice leather look to this. So this is going to be sort of like your heavily worn leathers or your light leather. Okay, come out very nice on the boot. I'm also going to do a video for the different type of leather that I'm about to paint these in. But that's a good formula for doing your light leathers. All these paints, this is actually part of a set of the Vallejo, part of the wood and leather set. I'll put a link to the description below to the set you want to buy. But all these paints are in that set, and I like buying the Vallejo sets because everything you need is right there in that set. If you want to paint skin, there's a skin set. You want to paint leathers and woods, there's this set. There's also your non-metallic paint sets. You know, if you're into your tank and your World War II stuff, there's specific sets for that. So what I did, started off with the chocolate brown. That was the first one we did at the beginning. Then we stippled with the dry brushes, with the flat earth. Then dry brushed over the top very lightly in dark sand. Once all that was done, we then created about a 10:1 mixture with water and the Vallejo smoke. And then last but not least, right at the end, just simple flat black. Okay, light little stipling with a very light kind of wash just to blend in the edges. Okay, follow those simple guides and you'll be creating nice leather effects like that. Okay, don't forget, if you follow this video and you have to do some good leather work, by all means, when you tag it up, tag us onto Instagram, Facebook, Mechs and Monsters. We're on all the social medias. So yeah, I've enjoyed that. I hope you've enjoyed it, guys, and happy painting. And don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, like us on Instagram. I'm on TikTok if you're into TikTok. Don't tend to do much on there, but I do like to put little video clips of like finished products. YouTube's going to be my main source for is my main source for these kind of tutorial videos, and Instagram's going to be mainly for photos, little clips. I don't see the point in doing a 60 second instructional video. I learned watching some amazing artists on YouTube, and I have sat and watched 3, 4, 5 hour videos learning how to do things. So I think that's the way to do it, is to sit, watch somebody do it and learn. Okay, so happy painting, chaps. Wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing your paintings. Get us tagged. Ciao.